for our much awaited lunch, so I won't waste much time. Um, on part of, though I am the moderator, I would be on the delegate side. So I would just to set the balls rolling. I would just highlight that all these specialists would be in different parts, but we being the majority, that means the medical legal experts or the rather the doctors, I think we would be more interested in knowing what are the steps to be taken or what are the precautions to be taken by us as doctors when we get a request for sending some samples for FSL or for evidence collection for that matter. So how can that be sent in the most appropriate way, that is most scientifically tangible as well as legally acceptable? So what are the precautions to be taken in taking samples, how it should be transported, how it should be safeguarded so that the chain of custody is maintained, what are the apt samples to be taken, etc., etc. I think that can be the most important question as far as we doctors are concerned. So I'm inviting our guests to start taking the questions. I think the audience can now come up with some questions.
I have two questions. One to Dr. Indrajit, sir. In poisoning cases, in textbook says that we should not, even if we treated for how many days, we should not issue the death certificate. What should be a...
First of all, using a death certificate by the medical textbook is an illegal term. It is not legal. I do not know why they are using death certificate, because death certificate is issued by Register of Birth and Deaths. It is not cause of death certificate. As per RBD Act, doctors are only authorized to issue cause of death certificate. So it is my sincere request to all the authors, they must change the word, that is one thing. And when should not be cause of death should be issued, that is decided by the section 10, subsection 3 of RBD Act. It clearly says that who can issue cause of death. One is medical practitioner. Another condition is who has attained a disease in his or her recent illness. Initially it was last illness, now last year they have changed the word recent. And thirdly, he must have some evidence to certify the cause of death. Only three criteria. If you are fulfilling all these criteria, then you can issue cause of death certificate. Whatever textbook has written, that has no legal backing. That could be their opinion, but we must change the word, that is cause of death certificate. And second is, if you fulfill all these conditions, you are expected to issue cause of death certificate.
Another question to the FSL, FDA card, is it available in the market? Do we need to collect blood sample in that card for the DNA typing? Is it necessary? And how much sample is needed for?
Yes, madam. FDA card is available throughout Kerala. And apart from FDA card, now we can use nucleic acid card. That's Indian made. That's published by High Media. It is a cheap rate. FDA card costs for, I show the card, it costs almost 250 rupees. But for the nucleic acid card, it's only 30 to 40 rupees. Same purpose, but FDA is a much more quality. But second one, somewhat less, but you can use it. It's available throughout, online is available. It's not a more costly card. It can available throughout.
What will happen if this blood sample is somewhere lysed, that the dead postmortem interval has passed more than 18 hours or so? What will happen if the blood is collected in this card or some other sample is needed?
Yeah, that is in the majority of cases, in the postmortem cases, if the dead body is recovered after 18-24 hours, almost all the soft tissues are degraded. So what will happen is, if you collect the blood or other soft tissues, in a DNA examination, it gives some fragmented profiles. With that fragment of we can ascertain the exact person. That is why we are saying after 24 hours, it's better to go for the bone or teeth, something like that. So in a fresh body, blood okay. Then up to 1 to 2 days, tissue is okay. Then after that, I think bone is the best material for DNA. Otherwise,
Sir, one more doubt. In your presentation, you said that we must collect 2 samples or 2 samples is not needed. That confusing part for me.
No, Saitan, if you're collecting the blood sample from the victim, live victim, you have to collect the sample duplication. Duplication. And second one, if you are collecting the autopsy samples, we have to collect 2 samples, one from bone, one teeth, like that. Otherwise, if one sample will not work, then we can go for second one. Because after this body has to be buried, so there is no chance of getting samples.
Thank you, sir. Detection of gas, like carbon monoxide in chemical examiners lab.
Yes. Yes, we are doing the estimation of carbon monoxide in blood only.
Blood only.
Blood only.
Lungs
That is,
not needed.
that is in the form of carboxyhemoglobin only. But this respirable gases, that is usually collected in lungs and sealed with the paraffin wax. That gas analyzer is at present not available in the laboratory.
So such color sample
Yes,
is not needed.
not needed at present.
Okay, sir. Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir.
To add to the first question that Madam asked actually, in the situation of this natural death, we had a lot of cases when a person died due to a natural cause, but the doctors are not willing to issue a death certificate, or police do not want to defer a postmortem, and it's put on our, it is our duty then to issue a death certificate, issue a postmortem certificate in those situation. So is there any law which a police surgeon or a forensic surgeon can defer a postmortem in any situation?
Questions to who?
Question is Director Khandekar, sir.
What I get from your question is, you want to know whether there is any law which
sir.
authorizes doctor to defer post-mortem examination. As per 174 CRPC subsection 3, now 194 BNSS, doctors has no authority to decide whether to order post-mortem examination or not.
Okay.
It is the domain of the police officer only.
Police?
So, only police officer.
Only.
So we need to train our police department that when they should order post-mortem and when they should not order post-mortem. That only we can do.
Okay, sure, sir.
We have requested the Central Government of India to amend the law, and I was promised by the Law Commission of India, I was invited there by the Law Commission of India, that they will amend the law 174 CRPC. But government found it fortunate enough to only change the number. That's it, they did. Hope so. We will see better sense while amending the future laws.
So situation hasn't changed now at all.
No change.
And the doctors are not willing to declare, to give
Doctors
a
cannot.
death certificate also.
Legally cannot. That is up to your risk. You can take decision. But legally you cannot.
One more question, sir. In chemical analysis, whether can we get a erroneous result? Can we get a result which says that some insecticide is found out? Can you get such an erroneous result? False result?
Once again.
Can we get a false result in case of a poisoning? In case of poisoning, can we get a false result? As the poison is found out in the system.
Yes.
Eh?
False positive.
Yeah.
That will sometimes create a problem. But if there is a poison is present and the doctor has a confirmation and the result is negative from the laboratory, that's okay. But the opposite side, definitely it will create some problem with, that's not, actually it's not allowed.
Actually, I'm talking specifically about a case of a death of a sign actor from mid-Kerala, central Kerala, sign actor, where chlorpyrifos was detected in the blood sample at Ernakulam, and which was not, a second test was undertaken and it was found that it was, they took it as a false positive result. What was your take on that, your opinion?
Actually, it's, in my instances, one case is there, but actually we have reported a poison, and actually on this investigation, there is no chance of taking the poison. That will create a problem for us and also for the forensic surgeon also.
Yes, yes.
That is not allowed. Anyway, there is...
Why it occurred? Any reason for that occurrence? Why it occurred?
Maybe some error is there. We have to check whether any instrument leather whether there any contamination or etc. The false positive result. But usually it's not happening. But if there is some instances, you have to report to the director specifically.
Why quantitative analysis is not
Quantitative analysis, okay.
done? Is not done in case of most of the poisons.
Yes, yes.
Why it is not done? Quantitative analysis.
Actually, quantitative analysis means, for example, for a particular drug, for example, methamphetamine in blood. Actually, this postmortem blood, if we conducted this quantitative analysis, we have a reference is required. That reference means usually the commercial sample is not possible. You have to procure the technical sample. Then if technical sample is also there, blood is only the sample for quantitative purpose. Otherwise, we have to take a part of the viscera, means some errors are there. Then we can estimate from the blood, but I already told how we interpret the value, whether it is a fatal dose or whether it is a feeble amount. Then that's a problem in the court.
Still, it will be much more.
But it is a live person. In the case of live person, we are doing the estimation. If the blood is directly taken from a live person, then that value has some significance.
Oh, thanks.
We'll all get a chance. So the question is towards you. This is a question which many people have asked me, and I've been a little evasive on that. But then God has blessed us with Professor Indrajit here today. Sir, you were mentioning about issuing MCCD. And our traditional teaching is that for all broad debt cases, we don't issue the MCCD. But again, there is a column in that MCCD which says, which mentions the manner of death, whether it is suicide, homicide, accidental. So if a case, for example, suicide, hanging, brought death to the casualty, do we need to issue an MCCD?
Law says, am I audible? No? Yeah. Law says, if you have evidence to certify cause of death, then only you can certify cause of death. In broad death cases, you do not have any medical evidence to certify cause of death, which can be presented. So in broad death cases, if you do not have, like suppose you do not have any records, you do not have anything which can certify cause of death, like some medical evidence is required. Not only external examination is the cause of death. Internal examination is there. That cannot be done in such cases, broad death. So whenever you do not fulfill this condition of the law, that means if you do not have evidence to certify cause of death, you cannot legally certify cause of death. There are doctors who certify, but risk is theirs. Okay.
Sir, one question to the chemical examiner, sir. Sir, actually we are following the chemical legal rules. Okay, and that's from, I remember it's from 80s. Okay, so as per the rules, we need to preserve 30 ml of blood. And sometimes it's very difficult to get, in certain cases, not in all cases. And do we really need 30 ml of blood right now? Because with the recent advancement in medical science, your instruments are newer. And is it necessary to have 30 ml?
Sir, very good question. Because this chemical examination rule is very old. Still there is no amendment in that. We have to amend it immediately in the last week also. But from our community, that is, you are also a part of that one, we can amend this chemical legal examination rule. The blood is only for a very less than 5 ml is sufficient for analysis. No need of collecting 30 ml. In earlier, that is in this analysis is by like a test tube analysis. That is the thing. Then, but the rule is already implemented by, that is by an order by the government. We have to amend it, but not required for sending 30 ml of the blood. The 5 ml is sufficient for this, because all these are nowadays instrumental analysis.
So I understand it's a time to amendment.
Yes, yes,
amendment.
thank
Okay.
you. That
And
is
one more question.
Then,
sorry, please. Sir.
I will initiate from your part. There is a question from your part. Then definitely I will ask the director to amend. But then definitely Sharija Madam is there. I know know her very when I am a scientific officer, she visited our office, I know. Then from our community we can discuss because a lot of problems are there, then a lot of changes are required in this field. Definitely we can, this conference will be a chance to this, we explore this type of things.
Okay, one more question, sir. It's about some practical easiness. I have heard about there are preloaded sodium fluoride bottles in market. Is it true? Preloaded. I mean, there are bottles with the preloaded.
I don't know. EDT2 is available.
Yeah, it's there, but one of the chemical lab from one examiner told me that it's available in the market. So any idea about that? There are bottles with the preloaded sodium fluoride.
No, first time I heard
No
that.
idea. Okay.
Okay, I will check. Sir, your name please?
Unmesh, I am head of the
okay,
department.
I know the name. Okay.
Thanks.
Okay.
Sorry, sir.
Regarding what? No, there is no amendment. Whatever has been raised, recently our forensic science lab issued certain guidelines and they have modified their own guidelines. So now our doctors are following at less samples. Now old practices like, regarding viscera preservation, there is no change till date. But we need to change. So unless and until forensic science people as well as forensic medicine people sit together and
Sir,
they
for
recommend something.
toxicological screening for drugs, we preserve even scalp hair in Kozhikode Medical College. Often we get death during drug abuse. So what all should we preserve? But we are often getting a negative chemical analysis report. Even though we get injection marks, we get a history of drug abuse, but often we get a negative chemical analysis report. So what all, in addition to the routine viscera, is there anything else that we should preserve? We preserve scalp hair also, as told by the chemical examiner of Kozhikode. But again, we are getting negative reports only.
That is a situation. Okay, I accept it. Actually, scalp hair, some drugs are possible to detect, but in my experience, we have not detected any drugs in scalp hair, but we can detect in blood or it's a metabolite. But
Are you looking for metabolites also?
Metabolite, that is a question. Actually, for example, diazepam. Diazepam is within, when it is in a aqueous medium, within a 5 or 6 minutes, in vitro or in vivo, it is converted to diazepam and oxazepam. But we are detecting, but there is a convention in the chemical examiner's laboratory in long years ago, that whatever we detected, for example, you asked diazepam, if diazepam is not detected in the blood, the result is that not detected. But we have it, that is we give only report and not opinion. That is still there is a problem in chemical examiner's laboratory. That is also we have to change, because in the talk, most of the drugs are very susceptible to oxidation or then we have to give interpretation also. For example, this is due to the degradation of that parent compound.
Regarding scalp hair, can you detect drugs in scalp hair? The chemical examiner from Kozhikode has requested to send scalp hair in all suspected drug abuse.
Specifically for any drug?
Yeah, whether it's for chronic abuse or whether a habitual abuser, can you get it from the scalp hair?
That actually, at present, I can answer. I will check and I will discuss with the joint chemical examiner. And please, your name? Srinivasan. Okay, I know. Okay.
I think with that question, we can wind up the panel discussion. And if any more doubts are there, I think the delegates are free to ask during the lunch. You can feel free to clarify your doubts. Last but not the least, Indrajit sir would like to clarify on one more point.
Sir has asked about manner of death, right, in MCCT format, natural, suicide, accident. Basically, law says that government should issue a format by following legal principles. That format should have been approved by the parliament, but that was not done. Ideally, if that process was followed, then this manner of death column would not have been there. because law don't permit doctors to identify the manner of death. Because manner of death is only related with the doctor's duty is only to, as per the law, I am talking, only cause of death. Even 174 CRPC also talks about cause of death. But we are from point of view of treating doctor. But what is happening? Even if government want that doctors should identify the manner of death, so it is very difficult to identify the manner of death like accident, suicide, homicide only on the basis of history. It is very difficult. So that can be alleged manner of death by the relatives. Alleged. That can be written. And lastly, or if they want only natural as well as unnatural. Unnatural could be classified accident, suicide, homicide. That could be done. So this format also need amendment. Anyone who is youngster who is interested can take a step and amend the formats. Thank you so much.
We have come to the end of an excellent session. The talks as well as the panel discussion was quite enlightening, I suppose. As the moderator, on my behalf as well as the audience, I would like to extend my thanks for all the panelists. Okay?
Thank you, sir. I invite Dr. Unmesh A.K. College Thrissur to present the memento to our moderator, Dr. Manoj T.M. All postgraduate students should move to the Physiology Lecture Hall for the preliminary round of focus quiz competition.